What's up guys, it's Jim with Awaken DCG, bringing you guys another EB01 video. Today we're going to be talking about Extra Booster 01, otherwise known as the Memorial Collection. Coming out the 3rd of May, which is this Friday. This video should be going up the 1st, so this is going to be coming out in the next 2 days. Unfortunately, this is another box that I think is going to be a little bit scalped. It's going for a lot online. I would not buy this online right now. If you haven't gotten your pre-orders, I would wait and buy singles, because if you did not know, this set has half of the product of a normal set. So normal set is going to have about 120 cards. This set is going to only have 61. However, these boxes are going to have the same amount of contents. We're still going to have 24 packs in a box and 12 cards in each pack. So basically, these are they're just more condensed, because there is less cards to choose from, pretty much is how that's going to work. If you get yourself 2 boxes of EB, you're pretty much going to have a full playset of every single card that is not a super rare. So really good value in that in buying this box. And there's really good cards in this set. Just looking at some of the highlights here, we've got Kitten Killer in red, which is going to be great in Law. We've got Cavendish in green, which is great in Bonnie next set. Both meta staples. In blue, we even have cards like Edward Weevil, which I've seen ran in decks like Boa, another great meta contender. As far as purple goes, we've got Miss Wednesday. Miss Wednesday is going to be great in Croc for the time in EB. I don't think it's great in OP07, but in EB it is going to be shining for sure. In black, we have great cards like Brooke and even Spandine if you're planning on playing Lucci next set. And then in a yellow, we have great cards like Flampe, which is going to be a pretty much staple in every yellow deck from like here on out. Great card there, as well as our secret rare, Bon Clay, going to be fantastic in RP Law, as well as lots of other purple decks. But let's go ahead and talk about the main news I'm here to talk about today. It has been 100% confirmed. I have seen multiple posts about it, of people opening their EB01 cases, and I have seen actually a full opening on YouTube. It's already out there, of somebody opening all 12 boxes, and they go over every single box, what they got. Basically, every single case is going to be exactly like this. So 12 boxes per case, just like any normal case of One Piece. 8 of those boxes will be a secret rare, so the Bon Clay, with 2 alt arts included. So that is an 8 of the 12 boxes. And then the other 4 will be 4 alternate art leaders plus 2 more alt arts. So this means that every single EB box, no matter where you get it, is going to have 3 hits. No matter what, you're always going to get 3 hits. Whether it's a secret rare plus 2 alt arts or an alt leader plus 2 alt arts. Since there's no SPs or anything like that, this is going to be what it is mapped to every single time. So if you do buy a box of EB, you're at least guaranteed 3 hits. And a lot of these alt arts are going to be worth a lot. I'll just say that. I think the Bon Clays, even though they're pretty common, in 8 out of 12 boxes, you're always going to get a Bon Clay, considering there is not another secret rare to choose from. I think they'll still go for a bit, but the alt arts could still be a little bit on the pricier side, especially for the very much ones in contention that people want. The only thing that might bring it down is the fact that there are 2 alt arts confirmed in every single case, which is going to make these alt arts a bit easier to come by. But let's actually go ahead and check out all the alt arts in this set, and let's give them a ranking to see our best hits and our worst hits. All right, and before we get into anything, shout out to HZ19 Art on Reddit, the One Piece TCG Reddit to be exact. This was posted 3 months ago, probably around when EB came out in Japan. Posted all of the alt arts for us to look at, but let's go ahead and use this fantastic images he provided. So pretty much here, these are the leaders that we can get, as I stated earlier, going to be in 4 of every 12 boxes. So if you buy any random EB box, that is a 1 in 3 chance that you will have a leader in that thing. But unfortunately, I don't really think any of these leaders are going to be too pricey or too expensive. If you want to play these leaders, that's great. But as far as the market goes, I don't think they're going to be going for too much, considering none of them are competitively viable in the slightest. Odin, maybe a little bit, but realistically, especially considering Sakazuki is still on the table for EB, none of these leaders are going to be playable, which means if you hit any of these leaders in your box, they're really not going to be that great. They are leaders, right? And they're technically more rare than every other alt art, so you know they're going to have their value and collectible value in that aspect. But still, if I were to pull a leader, I don't think I'd be too happy. My buddy's trying to play handyball, so I would be happy there, but that's probably about it. And then other on this screen, we've got the Manga Chopper, which is obviously going to be the most wanted find of them all. I don't know the exact pull rate for that, but it's probably going to be similar to any other manga. Very, very rare and very, very expensive. Chopper is a fan favorite character as well. Next up, let's go ahead and actually check out the standard alt arts that we're getting. So, as I was saying, every single box is going to have 2 of these. So let's go ahead and look at the best alt arts we can see compared to the worst alt arts we can see. So going from left to right, we have Viola alt art. If you hit this in your box, that's pretty bad. This really isn't played in any decks at all. If you want to play Kyros, great. You'll be able to use it, but I realistically would be kind of disappointed if I hit Viola. Next up, we've got Hiyori. Hiyori has actually been seeing play in the new Perona decks and actually a few Yamato decks in OP07. So if you do hit this 4-cost Hiyori, that is a pretty good hit. I'd say it's around high middle of the pack. Next up here, we've got Shirahoshi. These have actually been being ran in NL. NL has been running these Shirahoshis since black is such a problem sometimes. They actually can't remove this Shirahoshi with KO effects without healing NL1. So really good card in that deck, and for that reason as well, I think this card's going to be just a little bit on the expensive side. Next up here, we've got Brook. 3-4 Brook is played in, I think, a few Moria decks and a lot of Lucci decks as well. This is a great card in a lot of matchups and a lot of black decks as well. Really, really fantastic card. And I could see this alt art being worth a little bit. I'd say it's more towards the higher end of what people want to see. Definitely what I want to see, because I'm planning to play Lucci next set. If you hit a normal Chopper alt art, I imagine this will be pretty decent. It is played in a select few RP Law decks, but not really sure on this one. So I'm not going to make any statements, but probably around middle of the pack if I had to choose. Laboon, this is probably one of the worst ones you can pull. Just price-wise, I love Laboon as a character, but the card itself is not great, and it's not really played in any decks either. So if this is a bit of a dud if you pull it, definitely towards the lower end. Next up here, we've got Green Cavendish. This is a major staple in every Bonnie deck. So if you pull this card, that is a big hit, and you are up big, especially if you're playing Bonnie. Definitely towards the higher end. Best one here, we've probably got Ken and Killer. I'm assuming this is going to be the most expensive, obviously excluding the manga. This alt art Ken and Killer is a major 4F staple in every RP Law deck, which is going to be top 1 when we get into OP07, especially considering Sakazuki will be banned right off the rip, unlike in the East. So pretty much, yeah, as I was saying, top 1 if you pull this card. Also love the art. Really looking forward to seeing this in my boxes if I do get to pull it. Next up here, Mr. 1, another one of the worst, probably right next to Laboon. If you do pull this Mr. 1 alt art, I am sorry for you. Unless you're playing Blue Purple Crocodile, which is already not a great deck. This really isn't a great card and not really a fan favorite character either. Well, I like Mr. 1, but I don't really think this is going to be worth too much. I could see this being worth like $2, honestly. Next up here, we've got Khalifa, the card that is going to be help out Iceberg a lot. Also, a waifu card. I can see this being worth a bit for sure, but realistically, it's only used in Iceberg, and Iceberg is not great. It'll be decent in EB, definitely not the top of the meta. But for that reason, during EB, I could see this being worth a bit, and I'd say it's more of a middle to high middle, maybe. Alt art, if I were to pull this. Right here, Flampe, arguably number 2 or number 3 best pull you can get. Every yellow deck is now running this. Katakuri is running this, and O's running this. Black Yellow Luffy's running this. So This is a great hit and honestly one of the coolest arts. I love this style. Great art on this card. Next up here, we've got T-Bone. T-Bone is the new 5-cost 2K that is going to be being ran in Sakazuki for EB for the time being. So for the Saka players who are going to want to drip out their decks, I could see them wanting this card, but realistically, Saka's getting banned soon, so that could also kind of hurt this card's value. But awesome art, and I would love to pull this card. Next up here, we've got Inazuma, probably one of my favorite cards this set, honestly. It's a really cool card, and it's really fun to play in Ivankov and a few other decks. But realistically, another card that is not really seen at all in the meta, and not really a major fan favorite character either. It does have the waifu points, so it could go up there, but if I were to pull an Inazuma, I would not be the most ecstatic of all. It's a more low-mid range of pulls. Next up here, we've got the Mr. 2 Bon Clay alt art. This is arguably 1 or 2 right next to the Kid and Killer. It is literally a Nami, even though it's not Nami. We somehow managed to sneak Nami into EB. I really like that. I think it's a little cheeky way to make a cool alt art, but honestly, why'd you do my boy Bon Clay like that? Like, give him his own awesome alt art. Like, why do we have to make it Nami? But yeah, I'm not going to get into that. This card here is great. I love the art, but it's going to be worth a lot as well. This is probably one of the best hits you can hit on your 2 alt arts per box. And last but not least, we have the Miss Wednesday 3-cost blocker for EB Croc. Will be maybe decently expensive for the time being, because I know a lot of people are trying to play Yellow Purple Croc. This is only used in that deck, so maybe a decent hit, probably around the middle of the pack, but nothing amazing for sure. And that is going to be the video, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed my breakdown of EB, the case pull rates, the available alt arts this set, and the new cards coming our way this Friday. If you are just excited as I am, please leave a comment on what leader you are going to play in EB. I myself am really looking forward to playing Yellow and Purple Crocodile. Going to be a lot of fun for this next month and a half until OP07 comes out. But anyways, you guys have a great day. I'm going to head out of here. Peace.